Hi everyone, that time of year again, lawnmower time. We're just going to talk a little bit about batteries and testing. Um, I get some customers in, somebody told them, oh, your starter's gone, they bought a starter. No, it's your ignition is gone. They've gone online into forums and there's all kinds of advice and whatnot. You go to start your mower, you get a high-pitched squeal or there's a fast kind of rattling sound. The high-pitched squeal is more of a compression timing issue. We can talk about that in a later video, but that fast rattling sound is just basically a sign of a really bad battery, kind of bad electrical solenoid. But if you're a landscaper, you have a ride on it more, you have chainsaws, a bit of garden gear, for anybody really. I mean, I'd highly recommend that you invest in a multimeter. Now, multimeters, they're relatively inexpensive. You can pick up one of these maybe for 10-15 euro. And if you're looking at this and going, oh God, that's a lot of things going on here on this dial. But for the beginner, what we'll concentrate on is all we need is 20 volts, because the battery is 12.5. There's no point in setting it any higher, it really doesn't matter. We'll just stay at 20. And continuity. And what continuity will do is it'll check your safety switches, it'll check fuses, it'll check your plug tops in the house, you can test your batteries, normal batteries that goes into remote controls, toys, whatever with these things. I mean, I just recommend these to everybody. I mean, they're cheap, relatively easy to use, and they can save you a lot of heartache. Because I say, people go off and spend a lot of money on starters and chargers and ignitions and whatnot, and that's not the problem at all. So if you're having those symptoms on the lawnmower, the best place to start is if your lawnmower is trying to start and it just doesn't seem to have the power, I'd recommend you charge your battery first. Your next step is to pop your battery back in and test it with your multimeter. And all we have here is we have red to red, black to black. And if I set it to 20 volts, like we said, this battery is showing me a healthy reading of 12.65, dropping slightly. This is actually a new battery, and the one in it was brown bread, gone dead. Now, there is exceptions to the rule here. When you turn, what you need to do is, when you connect up to this battery, turn the key in your mower and watch this dial here and see how far this drops. If this drops to 4, 5, 6, 7 volts, well, you've got battery power issues. There can be maybe a couple of exceptions to the rule, and that can be your transmission belt on the mower. Now, if I get this voltage drop and I have a hint that the battery's okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll check underneath the mower here for the transmission belt. That's the transmission belt that goes from the engine pulley underneath, around a series of pulleys underneath, back to the gearbox that drives the mower. Now, if that belt came off and it's snagged against something, it's rubbing hard against a belt stay or something, that will cause that voltage to drop quite dramatically, because obviously there's a big pull on that battery. So what you can do is you can unclip your grass box. Sometimes it's just clips, sometimes there's a bolt here, bolt there. Pull out that, and that'll give you a view all the way up the mower, and check the belt. If your belt is okay, then that's good. We'll just go back to the battery again. So at this point, if you're getting a low reading down to 5, 6, 7, even 8, anything considered under 9 really is considered a fail, but that's iffy. So what you can do is, I said, if you're having this issue, you find that voltage drops, charge your battery, pop it back in, test it again, and if it's dropping down, your battery is gone. You need a new battery. Now, there can be other issues. You could, maybe you bought a new battery 12 months ago and you're getting a low reading again, which shouldn't be the case. because 99% of the time the battery's fine, but you have a charging issue. Now when your lawnmower is running, you should have a reading here, a healthy reading, 14.23 volts. And what's happening is the alternator is sending juice back through this line here and topping up the battery. It has to, otherwise it's just going to drain the battery every time. So when you get your new battery, pop it in, start your mower, bring up the revs maybe about halfway, and if you're getting 14 point odd volts here, you have a nice healthy recharge going back into the battery. If you don't, it's like you're getting a reading of 12.9, 13, very low 13, so then you have a charging issue. That can be your alternator, your voltage regulator, but that's a video for a different day. But 9 times out of 10, it's just a battery issue. So that's where I recommend you to start and save yourself a lot of money. I mean, these I said are inexpensive. They have a wide range of uses. They're kind of like multimeters are kind of like pressure washers, air compressors. Once you have one, you'd be surprised the uses you can get for them. So that's a good place to start, folks, for now. Before you go spend a lot of money on starters and ignitions when you just have a simple battery problem that you can get for probably somewhere between 40-50 euro. You can fit it yourself. Black to your minus, red to your plus, and start from there. Now this actual mower had that high pitched squeal. This flywheel found it very hard to turn over, and so this engine has camshaft issues, as it turned out. And I'm going to do a video on how to change the camshaft and how to look for signs that it is the camshaft that's the problem. But that's for tomorrow or the day after, I think. So start there, buy yourself a multimeter. Thank you, good luck.